Hello everyone, we are from group number 1 under group assignment in Managerial Economics Subject. Here we are going to discuss some challenges we have received and provide some solution for that. This is our group, Dilini, Deshani, Lahiru, Kanrathan and myself. Here I am going to discuss question number 1. You can see there are 9 balls. It consists with 3 red balls and 6 other balls. 6 other balls consist with black or yellow balls. Here you can see according to the principle of expected utility theory, this preferences is not consistent with that because option C has a higher probability of paying off than option D. Here clearly you can see what is C probability, what is D probability. Therefore, option C has a higher expected probability and is the rational choice. And also here I am going to present possible explanation for that. You can see some factors influences for that. Factors other than expected payoff of the option. As example, you can see more risk averse or risk taking situation. And also we can say decision maker don't have fully understand about probabilities of the different outcome. Here we can say it not able to accurately calculate the expected probabilities of the option. And also it is possible to affecting prior experience or beliefs. As example, they may have had more success with option A in the past, leading them to be more confident in its outcome and therefore more likely to choose it over option B. Similarly, their prior experience or beliefs may influence their preference for option D over option C in the second one. According to that, we can say finally, these preferences are not consistent with decision making under uncertainty and the basic of expected utility. Now over to you, Dilshani.
Thank you, Sandhya. Now I am going to give the answer for the question number 2. So, according to second question, you can see there are player 1 and player 2. Each player has strategies. Player 1 up, middle and down. Player 2 left, middle and right. In each period, each player will respond to the actions played by the open period before. The payoff for each period will be as follows if players 1 start with the strategy M and players 2 starts with the strategy L in period 1. Players 1 obtains a payoff of 4 in period 1, whereas player 2 receives a payoff of 5. Players 1 will place M in period 2 best count players 2's L strategy from the previous period, while player 2 will play M to counteract players 1's M plan from the previous period. This indicates that in period 2, player 1 receives a payoff of 0 while player 2 receives a payoff of 0. In period 3, players 1 will best respond to players 2's M strategy from the previous period by playing M, and players 2 will best respond to players 1's M strategy from the previous period by playing L. This means that players 1 receives a payoff of 5 and players 2 receives a payoff of 4 in period 3. players 1 will play in players M in period 4 to best counteract players 2's L strategy from the previous period, while player 2 will play M to counteract players 1's M plan from the previous period. Therefore, in the period 4, players 1 earns a reward of 0 and players 2 also received a players of 0. Next, over to you, Lahiru.
Thank you, Dilshani. In period 5, player 1 will best respond to player 2's M strategy from the previous period by playing M, and player 2 will best respond to player 1's M strategy from the previous period by playing it. This means that player one receive a play of 5 and player 2 receive a play of 4 in period 5. In period 6, player I will best respond to player 2's L strategy from the previous period by playing it, and player 2 will best respond to player 1's M strategy from the previous period by playing it. This means that player 1 receive a play of 0 and player 2 receive a play of 0 in period 6. In period 7, player 1 will best respond to player 2's M strategy from the previous period by planning M, and player 2 will best respond to player 1's M strategy from the previous period by playing it. This means that player 1 receive a play of 5 and player 2 receive a play of 4 in.
When we talk about the third question, there are three players, such 1, 2, 3, and there are three alternatives like A, B, and C. So to show that a poor strategy profile is a Nash equilibrium, and we must show that no players has an incentive to deviate from their strategy in the profile, given that the other players are also following their strategies in the profile. For the poor strategy profile AAA, if any player deviates from their strategy in the profile, say player 1 decide to vote for B instead of A, then the outcome will be B, A, and A. In this case, player 1 will receive a utility of 1, which is lower than the utility of 2 that they receive from following strategy in the profile. Therefore, one player has no incentive to deviate from their strategy in the profile, and the same holds for players 2 and 3. For the poor strategy profile ABA, if any players deviate from their strategy in the profile, say player 3 decide to vote for C instead of A, then the outcome will be A, B, and C. In this case, player 3 will receive a utility of 0, which is lower than the utility of 1 that they receive from following strategy in the profile. Therefore, player 3 has no incentive to deviate from their strategy in the profile, and the same holds for player 1 and 2. Therefore,
Therefore, both the poor strategy profiles A, and A are Nash equilibrium.
My question is A, B is Nash equilibrium? Answer is no. A, B is not a Nash equilibrium. If player 3 deviates from their stages in the profile, so they decide to vote for C instead of D, then the outcome will be A, C. In this case, player 3 will receive a utility of 1, which is higher than the utility of 0 that they receive from following the stages in the profile. Therefore, player 3 has an incentive to deviate from their stages in the profile, and the full stages profile A, B is not a Nash equilibrium. Finally, we hope we provide good discussion and answer all 3 questions. And thank you.